Our project is reaction time, and in this project the materials are going to be balloons, an EKG vernier sensor provided by Mr. Balut, and we're going to use the computer, a program called Prologger, some headphones, and a needle, as well as adhesive pads. Hello, we are from Harmony School of Innovation, Katy. We have chosen to conduct the reaction time experiment for our physics class. We are working on a level 2 project, and the scientific principles are liking, authority, and consensus. Authority has to do with people following the lead of a credible and knowledgeable expert. Liking has to do with people being more inclined to say yes to those that they have a better liking to. Consensus has to do with people looking to the actions of others to determine their own. With this experiment, authority will be expressed as the subject being submissive to the authoritarian figure, the people conducting the experiment and working the equipment. In physics, I was testing out how fast my solar car could go when it was outside in the sun. It went fast enough to where I had to speed walk to keep up with it, and I heard someone call my name. I glanced to look at whoever was calling my name, but my reaction behind it was that I was going to try to keep up with my car. My reaction was very minimal. I glanced up to whoever called my name but quickly ignored it. Had I looked around my surroundings, my reaction would have most likely been very different, with me picking up the car and running out of the car's way immediately.
During the 1800s, the scientist named Franciscus Donders had created the Hip chronoscope. He researched on how long it took people to react to and complete an everyday task. After doing so, he went on researching more about how he can relate the difficulty of a task and the reaction time to what may be happening in the brain. Furthermore, in these modern times, psychologists continuously study the relationship of the nervous system with reaction time. In addition, neuroscientists study carefully imaging of the inside of the brain during reaction process. Most reflexes regarding the simplest reflexes require a large amount of brain activity. The way it works is that our brain receives and processes a command. Then it interprets information and controls muscle movements in order to produce a response. Although it's just a theory, the more complex the task is, the more time it will take to process to produce a reaction.
ELA Component Option 3 Narrative Essay. Since the PBL project is reaction time, I will be recalling a few events that can be related to the amount of time it takes for someone to react to something. When it comes to this, I have a relatively quick reaction time, but sometimes I'll completely miss something that could practically hurt me very badly or even land me in the hospital. The most recent time this occurred was probably a week or two ago. In physics, I was testing out how fast my solar car could go when I was outside in the sun. It went fast enough to where I had to speed walk to keep up with it, and I heard someone call my name. I glanced to look at whoever was calling my name, but quickly looked down again to make sure I didn't accidentally step on the car. It wasn't until I got to the other end that someone told me that a car was going in reverse and I had walked right behind it when I was trying to keep up with my solar car. My reaction was very minimal. I glanced up to whoever called my name but quickly ignored it. Had I looked around my surroundings, my reaction would most likely have been much different, with me picking up the car and running out of the car's way almost instantly. Another time I can recall this happening to me was 9th grade in PE. We were doing whatever we wanted to this period. I think I may have been trying to play volleyball. I tend not to control which direction I am going to throw the ball in, or I underestimate how strong my arms can be. While we were playing, I felt a small breeze by my right ear move my hair, and a boy ran by me to pick up a basketball or football. I don't exactly recall, but some girls told me to watch out. This happened quite often to me in PE, where I would barely get missed by any fast-thrown objects, be it a ball or a saucer, frisbees. But my reaction would be very minimal, pretty much non-existent, except for a small O, since I had become so used to it that it didn't even faze me. when it happened anymore. An event in which I had a very quick reaction time was when I was showering. How long ago this was, I do not remember. I remember the bar of soap slipping out of my hands in an upward motion when I tried to hold it firmly, and I was very quick to catch it before I hit the floor. I was rather proud of myself in that moment for having had caught something as difficult as a bar of soap so efficiently and so quickly. The events shown above illustrate how certain events in my life have tested how quickly and in what manner I will react to certain stimulants within my exterior environment. This is what I am doing in my PBL project with my partner as well, which is what I just said, measuring the time it takes for us to react to certain external stimuli. SS connection, option 2, historical connection.
During the 1800s, the scientist named Franciscus Donders has set a base on thinking on how we humans have to think by measuring the time. Since there was no watches or computers, Donders used a timing device called a hip chronoscope. He researched on how long it took people to react to and complete an everyday task. After doing so, he went on researching more about how he can relate the difficulty of the task and the reaction time to what may be happening in the brain. Furthermore, in these modern times, psychologists continuously study the relationship of the nervous system with reaction time. In addition, neuroscientists study carefully imaging of the inside of the brain during reaction process. Most reflexes regarding the simplest reflex require a large amount of brain activity. The way it works is that our brain receives and processes a command. Then it interprets information and controls muscle movements in order to produce a response. Although it's just a theory, the more complex the task is, the more time it will take to process to produce a reaction.
So, for our PBL project, first off, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Giselle.
So, for our PBL project, we chose reaction time, where Giselle will be the first one to experiment. I'll be the second one. And we will be measuring each other's heart rate to different stimuli. There are only 2 of them. We're going to be putting on headphones, and we're going to have a loud noise be played while we wear them, and our heart rate will change based on the noise. And the second one will be a balloon, which we are going to pop in front of Giselle. And the way we're going to measure this is by a LabQuest Mini and an EKG sensor. We have her hooked up to some wires and some adhesive pads. So right now, we're just gonna pop the balloon in front of her. Did you pause? The second stimuli is the headphones. So while I put the collect button, I'm going to also play an audio which is going to change her heart rate in a certain manner. Okay, well, I'm just going to change it off. Okay, and that is it.
I'm going to pop the balloon on her face and record her heart rate.
You have to put the Okay, pause.
Now this time, I am going to perform the air horn sound effect on her.